Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Chaos. Absolute chaos. In-your-face law-breaking by the Democrats telling illegal criminals how to hide from deportation. Ask yourself, what's happening to common sense in America? We must fight back. Here comes Kate Smith, and God Bless America, followed by a patriot with the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, good morning. And a good morning to you as we start off a Monday, already July 15th. My goodness sakes, this summer is going fast. We want to say a big thank you to our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best of safe driving tires. You stop in and see them today. Also, don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance by a patriot. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of our United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir, and I know you'll call back later. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, sir. Hey, it is time for the weather forecast, and the weather brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn, right smack dab on the Burley-Paul Highway. You can't miss them. They're out there. I tell you, they open the doors at 7 o'clock in the morning. Roger and the whole crew can help you any way possible. And don't forget, the rental of the best tools and equipment for any job you need to finish. Don't forget, lots of different sizes, tractors and mowers to cut down those doggone weeds or whatever words you want to use, excavators. They've got it all at K&R Rental over on the Burley-Paul Highway. Give them a call, 678-3122. And right now, here's the weather.
Another sunny summer day here in the valley as we get ready to kick off this work week, and today we are looking at sunny skies, expecting a high of about 90, a little bit on the breezy side, winds out of the west at about 8 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low of 58. Tomorrow, a little bit of cloud cover, partly sunny is what we're expecting with a high of 84, overnight low of 55. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, back to sunny skies and upper 80s. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Oh, Gina, thank you, and brought to you by the gang that really serves you, and that's K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Oh, yeah, Roger and the crew, they offer the best of tools and equipment. And the number to call if you're not sure what you need, talk to them, 678-3122, K&R Rental. Want to also remind you quickly about our friends over at Daryl's Cleaners. You want to look sharp, and when you look sharp and feel good about the way you look, my golly, I'll tell you what, they've got the best right there for you at taking care of your clothes. Daryl's Cleaners, the best of dry cleaning, and don't worry if you don't have time to do your washing, you can take it in there. They will wash, dry, fold, and iron all your clothes just like Mom used to. Holy cow. All of this is a service to you at Daryl's Cleaners, 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. You stop in and see them today. We have an excellent program lined up for you today. We've got Richard Manning at 9:06, and then Matt Kish with American Energy Alliance is going to be on the air from Washington, D.C., talking about our energy and the idiocy and incompetency and completely uneducated mishmash the Democrats are throwing out about green energy. Then we have a guy at 10:06. I've never met this man personally, but I'm looking forward to having him on the air. His name is Al Tisch, and he's from St. Louis Park, Minnesota, and I think we're going to try to get a hold of him at 10:06 and talk about the city council back there stopping the Pledge of Allegiance. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Deb. I hope you had a wonderful weekend.
I did, sir. What can I do for you this morning?
Okay, equal pay for men and women. Ain't going to happen because it can't. You take like the women's soccer league is not near as big as the men's soccer league. So therefore, the intake of money to run it is going to be greater with the men's than the women's.
Oh, well, Keith, you know, let's just kind of narrow this story down a little bit, because I've got a lot of things I got to get in here this morning. Number one, equal pay. There is no such thing. No, wait a minute, hear me out. If a woman is applying for a job of a CEO of a company and the CEO's duties and responsibilities and income are such at a level, then absolutely I think that woman should have the same equal pay as any man. But when it comes to sports like the WNBA or the LPGA or any other, the soccer leagues, etc., they do not bring in the revenue. They do not have the fan base and the audience of support. They do not have the sponsor support. So don't cry to me about equal pay, not you personally, but others. There is no such thing as equal pay because they're not producing equal merit.
I couldn't have said it better because that's exactly what I was getting at. Like in the women's league, for instance, they pointed out that they don't bring in as much money as the men's league, so they can't pay the women as much.
That's right.
But yet, per capita, they make more than the women.
Yeah.
I mean, more than the men. They actually get paid more for doing the same job as women do.
I certainly hope that Nancy doesn't have a cold.
I hope she doesn't either.
Listen, it's a point well taken, and it's one that I'm not going to back off on. Keith, I appreciate it. God bless you and your lovely wife. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
You bet.
All right, thanks. Ramsey Heating and Electric. Don't forget our dear friends over at Ramsey. All your heating and cooling and electrical needs. And it sounds like we're in summer. Hey, come on, don't get nervous. It's just the way summer is. It's warm. And if you want to run the air conditioner, don't forget you might need some new air filters. Well, they've got all the air filters over there for your AC at Ramsey Heating and Electric. 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. They're open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday. Ramsey Heating and Electric, where they always provide warm winters and cool summers. Boy, you know, I've been on this steering wheel chewing diet for a long time, and I'm ready to just throw in the towel and say, let's all go back over to Denny's restaurant again real soon and enjoy a great meal. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, anytime, all the time, all the great desserts, everything right there at Denny's restaurant. 611 North Overland and Burley and 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Delicious menu choices, many of which are new to the menu. I keep telling you, you got to try that strawberry vanilla crepe breakfast. Ooh, good. And this is America's Diner, where you're going to expect those delicious menu choices. Denny's Restaurant, the home of Zeb's Lunch Munch. Don't you forget to stop in at 611 North Overland today. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm going to get into a story right now where I can guarantee you I'm going to get a little emotional. mad, and I'm going to do that right after this. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. My, I went over there the other day, let them work on my leg and the aching and the paining and everything. They do a wonderful job. Nick Greenwell and all of his excellent staff. They care, they know, and they help. Absolutely. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. The number to call to make an appointment, 678-1191. I'll repeat that, 678-1191. Please call and let them help you get back to being you. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. You call them today. This story has got me just really frustrated this morning. I can't believe what is happening in the United States of America. Our American flag was taken down over a facility in Colorado, and in place of it, hoisted up on the flagpole, was a Mexican flag. And at the same time, our flag of the United States of America was desecrated and flown upside down. Words cannot be used on the radio. What I think of these vermin that did this. Words cannot be used on the radio, what I would like to do to these people. And we had better do something soon. Every single day on this program, we research the news and tell you more stories about how people are trying to destroy the values, the constitutional values of America. And we sit back and we don't do one doggone thing. Heads need to start rolling. Now, for you mamby-pambies out in the audience, I know some of you are out there. Oh, he's advocating violence. Yeah, maybe I am. Are we going to let this continue to happen in our country? That flag, our flag, means so much to me, and then to have a bunch of nincompoops take down our flag and replace it with the Mexican flag, you go ahead and criticize me all you want. That is garbage. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. One of the main reasons why we're having this problem, the basic problem, is that most of these Democratic politicians up there and some Republicans are in office for personal gain and power and the benefits they get from being part of this Senate or Congress or whatever there is. And if the American people don't turn violent, we're going to lose the country. Well,
okay, let's talk about that. Everybody is going to cringe and they're going to go, oh, you advocated violence. You know, you got to fight for something you love. You got to fight for something you love. And right now I see, like I said in the opening, chaos is reigning supreme in this country because they think the good people aren't going to do anything to stop them. You know, Tony, this is really an act of traitors taking down our flag and replacing it with a Mexican flag. Why, those people should have been tied to a post and baked in the hot sun for hours and hours for this kind of idiocy. I just absolutely have no use for this.
Well, the enemies of our country are planning on those people invading our country, overpowering us, overpopulating us, and the American people who are still alive in this country are going to be overrun by these people, and now we will have no say at all at anything.
Yeah, and then there's those...
violence goes...
Yeah, and there are those in the audience that are saying, well, that's their right of free speech. Well, let me tell you something about their right of free speech. Taking down my American flag, your American flag, and destroying the values of our country, I've got free speech too, and it might end up to where my free speech is going to chase you out of Dodge City.
Well, you know what's going to happen. Pretty soon, these people there'll be so many of them here, we will have no rights.
There you go.
People.
There, you hit it right on the head.
Into these people.
You hit it right on the head. When are we going to stand up instead of acting like a whipped pup on the back porch? I mean, I'm sick and tired of always playing the meat sheep. It's got to stop, Tony, and we've got to tell everybody in this country we're not going to take this garbage anymore.
Well, we have to have victory meetings. We've got plenty of fairgrounds around here where we can get people. I pay $10 to come in and get speakers to come in here and make sure that just about everybody at the meeting is fully American.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let the world know that we're ready to fight.
I'm proud of this.
Otherwise, it's going to go to hell.
It's on the road, let me tell you. Tony, I appreciate you and Mary so much. Thank you so much for your call. God bless. Thank you.
Well, thank
Caller, I'll be right with you. Stand by. Don't forget Ark Animal Hospital. Hello, Dr. Bill, and the rest of the great folks over there at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. Now, this really is a time of year. You got a lot of things to worry about the health of your animals. I mean, and the heat. Make sure that they've got all the water, all the fresh water they can have during the summer months. Fill, refill, and keep filled all the water containers and make sure they stay healthy. If you got a problem, you get a hold of Ark Animal Hospital at 678-1177. I'll repeat that number, 678-1177, Ark Animal Hospital in Heyburn. Yep, they do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Real quick, caller, I'm a little bit behind. Stand by. I want to remind everybody, too, about Rain for Rent. Hello, Jake. How you doing over there and the rest of the crew? You know, irrigation time is such a really short and important time for the production of our crops and the growth of our crops. Well, you want to work with people that can help you with all your irrigation needs, and that's Rain for Rent. They're located at 134 South 600 West of Paul, and they're a Reinke Diamond dealer. They can and they will help you with a very dedicated sales and service staff. All you need to do is give them a call at 438-5065. That number again, 438-5065. Rain for Rent. I'm telling you, they can help you, and they will, with your irrigation needs. Caller, good morning. You've been very patient. Go ahead.
Good morning, Zeb. I totally agree with everything you and your callers have been talking about, but, you know, we really have to get to the roots of what is behind all of this, and it really is the destruction of this country from Saul Alinsky. I know you're familiar with, he was a community organizer, socialist, communist, and he dedicated his book, Rules for Radicals, to Lucifer, Satan. Isn't that wonderful? And so he's really the godfather of this political destruction of our country.
Well, wait a minute, Adrian, wait a minute. Most people, and you're right, I mean, you're absolutely right in your synopsis of what's going on, but most people, I find, are not really familiar with Saul Alinsky or his Rules for Radical, and so therefore we've got to tell them exactly where the goat ate the cabbage in the garden, because we've got to tell them, hey, we've got a bunch of insurrectionalists, namely the Democrats and the liberals, that want to tear this country apart and be lawbreakers. They want to tell the illegal aliens that are here in this country illegally how to avoid deportation, how to break the law, and this is chaos. And when you take down the American flag and replace it with the Mexican flag, you know, you can talk about Saul Alinsky and the Rules for Radicals. I don't care about that. I'm just saying we've got to start going after these people and stop this idiocy before it gets completely out of hand.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you somewhat, because his Rules for Radicals have three components, main components: polarize, divide white and, versus black, rich versus poor.
I know that.
And that's and then demonization. Of course, anybody that's opposed to their radical socialist communist agenda is demonized, whether it be opposed to gays, marriage and on all of that. And, of course, the other part is just the plain deception. And these are the three main tools: polarization, demonization, and deception.
Yeah, but wait a minute. We're not disagreeing, Adrian. Adrian, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Adrian, wait a minute.
I just want to point out, in California alone, 449,000 illegal aliens were turned down for jury duty because they weren't citizens.
I know.
But they all were registered to vote.
I know, but what you're missing my point. Wait, please. You're missing my point. I wasn't disagreeing with you on Saul Alinsky and the rules for radical, but I think the point you missed and it went over your head when I made my rebuttal was that most people haven't read it. We have to direct our power to changing things against people that don't understand what's going on in this country. You can read Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals all you want, but we've got an already happening everyday problem that has to be addressed.
Well, I agree, but we need to know the background, why these people are acting this way. This is the kind of stuff that's being taught in our public schools.
I know, that's true.
These kids I've got a friend that's a professor of civics, and, I've mentioned this before on the air, that he gets these freshman students coming in. They all believe socialism's the way of the future, and that's why they all wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders in the last presidential election. And, so after a month, he just gives them, he sees them 3 times a week for maybe 12 lessons on what this country is all about. But until this is turned around in our schools and they realize what is being taught and what the agenda of the radical left, and whether Democrats, and we've got some radicals in the Republican Party too.
That's right.
But, I see where you're coming from, but we need to know that the background, and if people don't know who Saul Alinsky is, they need to find out, because this, Hillary Clinton worked for him, wrote her thesis on it. Obama quoted him many times.
Okay. But Adrian, I know we can go on and on about this, and I am in total agreement with you as to what the cause of the problem is, what is creating more of the problem, and what people need to know about the problem. But right now, I'm going to sum this up, and I've got a hard break, and I've got to take it. Right now, this morning, with the taking down of an American flag and replacing it with a Mexican flag, right now, my worry is not about Saul Alinsky or his book. My worry is right now, we've got to stop this chaos right this minute.
Well, I understand. We've got to put out the fire, but we need to find out who's put gasoline on it to begin with.
All right. Hey, you and I are on the same page, and I appreciate your call. I've got that hard break, and I've got to get on it. Thank you so much. Thank you. He's right, but I'll guarantee you what. Most of these people that are creating this problem, they couldn't care less about the how. They're just doing it to take away the values of our United States of America. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. We got to give away some cookies right now. And I'm going to be sending you over to Sophie's Chatterbox if you win the cookies at 530 East Street in Rupert. Oh, my goodness, what a bakery. Oh, what a restaurant. Woo! Stop in and enjoy great eating, and they make the delicious cookies, pies, and all kinds of desserts, wedding cakes, everything at their bakery. Here's the question. It's a relatively easy one this morning, and the first person that calls will win the cookies from the Rifleman TV series. Name the actor that played the son. From the Rifleman TV series, name the actor that played the son. What was the actor's name? Call me quickly at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Quickly give me a call, and you'll win the cookies. While I'm waiting for your call, I also want to remind you about Berry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts. 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and the Nampa location with all the equipment that you need for all the lifting and the digging and the pushing and the carrying I'll tell you, they've got them all, boy. I mean, they've got the equipment. The Doosan wheel loaders and the excavators and all the Bobcats and great financing programs. Whoa, great lease programs. You check it out and get in there today and talk to the best and work with the best at Berry Equipment and Rental. Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa. I got a feeling that everybody's run to their computers and they are checking on the name. From the Rifleman TV series, name the actor that played Mark the son. The son's name was Mark. Who was the actor that played that position? Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I thought that would be an easy one this morning, and you might win the cookies. So quickly give me a call, and I'd like to hear from you. A nice guy. I'll tell you this much. I had a chance to work with him at a couple of events later on in his life, and just really a nice person. By the way, while I'm waiting for your call that I hope comes in pretty doggone soon, I want to talk to you about Greystone Crossing. Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living on El Fresco Road. That's 21st Street, just a mile east of Walmart. What a nice place for you. A 12-bedroom home, and believe me, they furnish warm, delicious meals and housekeeping and local transportation if you need to get around town. All of this and more. It's just really a friendly, very handy and enjoyable place for you, seniors. Please call Kelly and the rest of the folks and set up an appointment to visit 650-4979. That number again, 650-4979. Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living. Call them today. Holy smokes, Wheels. Nobody knows the answer to that question. I'm shocked. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe we do have a caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dad. His name was John Ernest Crawford.
You had to look it up, didn't you?
I actually did. I remembered it, but I couldn't remember it.
Who's calling?
This is your trucker buddy, Jeff.
Jeff, okay, Jeff, just for the sake of the audience hearing you, go ahead and be proud of your last name, too.
Wrong.
All right, I wanted you to say it. And there you go. And Jeff, by the way, is one of our lunch bunchers, and we really appreciate him. It was Johnny Crawford. He went by the name Johnny Crawford. You are right. You won the cookies, and get over to Sophie's. Tell him when you'll come over for your cookies, okay?
I sure will, Dad. Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Have a great day. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Johnny Crawford really didn't care. He did some acting after The Rifleman, little bit parts and everything, but he really didn't care for Hollywood that much and for TV shows, movies, etc. And he went into real estate. And that's when I met him one time at a couple of events. He was the featured guest, and I was the announcer at that event. We had a chance to sit and visit a little bit. He really turned into a real estate tycoon and did a lot of big things down in the Los Angeles area. And so Johnny Crawford was the answer to that question. He was the actor that played Mark on the Rifleman TV series. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We can't ignore a problem that we have now in this country that's being exacerbated by the Democrats and the liberals because they are absolutely thumbing their nose at our laws. The illegals have had their day in court. Now, I'm going to tell you the way it is. The illegals have had their day in court, and the ones that are not passed on by the court and have been said to be deported, that's the way it should be. Many of which are illegal alien criminals that have committed crimes in this country. And the Democrats and the liberals are actually shielding them, protecting them over you and I, American citizens. This is despicable, disgusting, and it's as low as the gutter. I cannot believe some of the things I saw this morning. that the sheriff of Los Angeles County has advocated through a video that they will do nothing to help ICE, and they are telling illegal aliens, don't worry, we will protect you. Earlier this morning, the statement was made, America's going to hell. Well, just look at the facts. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, sir. Isn't there a law about aiding and abetting in a criminal?
Yeah, absolutely.
That you are as guilty as they are?
Doug, wait a minute. Stop right there. Of all the issues that we're talking about, whether it is tearing down our American flag, or whether it's protecting, shielding, and harboring criminals, which actually sanctuary cities and towns and everything else, they do that. That's all breaking the law. But right now, today, who cares? It's chaos, man.
Well, it is. It's just like, okay, just say I was to break the law. I went to court. I was found guilty and I was told I had to go to prison. And I just went back out on the street and thumbed my nose at them and said, no, I ain't going. It's the same thing. When they're told to leave, they need to leave. They need to deport them right as soon as they said, okay, your asylum claim is done. Here's the officer. Get on the plane. You're out of here.
Okay. You've got a little old lady and a little old man that have been dedicated American taxpayers all their lives. They're living on Elm Street, and they sit out on their front porch, and they make sure they have gone without so that they could pay their taxes and be good citizens all of their life. Now comes the illegals that are being protected for illegalities. Now comes the illegals that have committed crimes here in this country, maybe against that old couple sitting on their front porch, and they are being protected more than you and I as taxpayers. What in the heck is the matter with this?
It's chaos. They want to get America, they want to bring it down. They want to overtake it. You know, like your other callers said, that just by invading and not forcing the law. Just like Cory Booker, when he went into Mexico and helped those people come across and told them what to say. That should have been a crime, and he should have been handcuffed right there and took to jail and processed for a crime. I mean, these people think they're above the law.
Well,
they're the ones that write the law. They don't like it. Then, by George, do something about it, do some work, earn your money, and change it.
Congress has done nothing. I want to say something right here, Doug, and Wheels, we got just a little feedback there, if you would. I have not had on this program for a long time, you'll realize, any of our congressional or senatorial people, basically our reference points back in D.C. as our liaisons, the people we hired to work for us. I haven't had them on the air for a long time. I have made a decision I'm not going to put them on the air for a long time until I start to see and hear somewhat of an effect as to what they're doing to make this situation better. I don't want lip service. I don't want, I tried to propose this or I tried to propose that. I want to see something done in effect to help this country. Until then, they're not coming on my program.
Well, I don't blame you, sir. I really don't. I mean, like you say, if you had a company and you hired those four gentlemen that we have representing Idaho, and you send them out on a job, and you see nothing getting done, you hear nothing back from them, no feedback, no anything on what's going on, would you keep paying those people?
No, and I'll tell you something. All of this is I think, very well displayed by what happened to Tom Homan last week when he was in front of that congressional hearing. Tom Homan, a former ICE director, he was ridiculed. He was minimized. He was absolutely made fun of until finally he'd had enough. This burly man, this huge man, has served the American public for over 34 years. And they said that he didn't care about dying children. He didn't care about this, that, and the other. And finally, Tom Homan had enough. And he sat there, and I'm telling you what, the dog was at the end of the chain, and he was barking. And the Democratic, frivolous, stupid Democrats that were sitting there trying to question him, they were taken aback and pushed into the back of their seat because, quite frankly, I thought Homan was going to get up and go over to a couple of them and grab them each by the neckties and turn them until they turned red.
Exactly. Well, I got a call coming in, so God bless, and everybody, let's do what we can for senior center.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I saw that congressional hearing, and I saw what they were trying to do to embarrass Tom Homan. And when they started saying he didn't care about little children dying that were trying to be snuck across the border in the van boxes of semis that are so hot that they suffocated, he had nothing to do with it. He had nothing to do with it. He had nothing to do with the illegality of people breaking our laws and sneaking into this country. But for the Democrats to sit there and say he didn't care, finally this man had enough. And if you saw the tape, he absolutely had to bite his lip and turn away, and then he really let them have it verbally. And he even admitted this morning on television at 4:35, he had to control himself to stay in the seat and not go over and get right in the face of these idiot Democrats. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I hope I get a report, and I'm trying to look at my list right here. Tomorrow we'll hear from the Oakley Pioneer Days, and they're going to tell us how the bump and rub car race went last Friday and Saturday night. Well, listen what's going on tonight. Tonight at Oakley Pioneer Days, they've got the Moto Rodeo. Absolutely, and this is really going to be fun to watch, I'll tell you what. Starts at 6 p.m. And then, of course, don't forget on Thursday night, they've got their great big gymkhana. That's one of the biggest gymkhanas, I think, of anywhere around the Northwest. And then Friday and Saturday night, the open rodeo, and then fireworks. Oh, my. Oakley Pioneer Days with volleyball tournaments and basketball tournaments and chuck wagon breakfast. And, oh, my. On next Saturday, the 20th, the great big Pioneer Day Parade. The best is yet to come. Don't miss it. All of this at your 2019 Oakley Pioneer Days. It is phenomenal. Don't forget, too, some of the merchants up there that want you to come on up to Oakley and enjoy Clark's for Shopping. Oh, these are good people. Tom and Harlow and the rest of the folks, and they've got that delicious home famous grandma's recipe for sausage. You got to try that. It is phenomenal. They've been in business since 1924, and they urge you to come on up and enjoy all the activities at Oakley Pioneer Days. Clark's for Shopping. Oakley Valley Stone, beautiful, beautiful stones for fireplaces, headstones, landscaping. They've got it all at 204 West Main Street in Oakley. Don't forget the great folks at Oakley Valley Stone. And last but not least, Searles at 120 North Center Street in Oakley. Open 6 to 9. I'll tell you all the gas grub and goodies and the specialty baked buns every day. Good. Searles in Oakley. All wishing you to enjoy the Oakley Pioneer Days. We are going to do the weather real quick and then come back with more stories, but I'd sure like your comments on our flag being taken down outside of an ICE facility in Colorado. A United States, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Colorado. They went up, they being these liberal fools, and took down our American flag and replaced it with the Mexican flag. And then put up our flag upside down. Weather brought to you this hour by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and they're right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, and they urge you to get a hearing screening if you're noticing a lapse in your hearing, or maybe a diminishment, whatever. Don't put it off. Hearing is very, very important. I know I went over there and they helped me. They care for each individual with customized and personal plans of treatment. So please get a hold of them today. Schedule a hearing screening at 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And right now, here's the weather.
Another sunny summer day here in the valley as we get ready to kick off this work week. And today we are looking at sunny skies, expecting a high of about 90. A little bit on the breezy side, winds out of the west at about 8 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low of 58. Tomorrow, a little bit of cloud cover, partly sunny is what we're expecting with a high of 84. Overnight low of 55. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, back to sunny skies and upper 80s. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you very much, Gina. Appreciate it. And the weather brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. As I said, make an appointment today by calling 312-0957. They are absolutely there every day to serve your hearing needs. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You got to admit, folks, that when you hear about our flag being torn, I am surprised right now that we haven't had a whole bunch of people call and be absolutely, totally upset over these actions. How much more are we going to take in this country? How much more crime? How many more shootings? How many more illegal aliens getting behind the wheels of cars and killing someone? How many more assault and batteries? How many more crimes of any nature are we going to allow and say, oh, well, let's just turn a blind eye and a deaf ear and let them all reside in Happy Land, a sanctuary city? What about us? What about us? Why are we paying our taxes? This is a question I've heard others say, and I've chimed in and said this 3 weeks ago. Why in the world am I paying my taxes to support illegality? Why am I paying my taxes at the threat of, you don't pay your taxes, why, we're going to come after you? Why should I pay my taxes, my money, to support this lunacy and this anarchy and this chaos? We have laws, but are the laws to be disobeyed by the illegals because they get preferential treatment? Evidently. Congress isn't doing a doggone thing. Nothing. They're inept and they're unable. And we have people standing on the street taking our flag and throwing it in the gutter, saying that they're going to have sanctuary cities for these illegals, or sanctuary counties, or sanctuary states. But we keep paying our taxes for that? You got to question yourself. Why are we paying our taxes to support anarchism? Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. Oh, I got to hit this real quick. Beto O'Rourke, I cannot stomach this gentleman. He is I think when you look up the word fraud or charlatan or medicine salesman from the 1800s, he's got to have his picture right there. Now they have come out, they being he and his wife, and they feel like, I guess, they can better represent their constituency that's supporting them for the presidency. I hope he never gets the nod, because they have come out and said, you know what, we have checked our family tree, and we are actually descendants of slave owners, and we're so humble and so sorry, and if you'll elect me, I'd like to really help change this for the better. Oh, boy. You talk about pandering. That's disgusting. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Another big problem that we have is if you and I went out and tried to do something to put a stop to this flag burning and all this stuff, you and I would end up in jail because the police chiefs in a lot of these cities are worried about being called racist. And the enemy knows this. This is why this thing continues. The police officers would love to get in there and put a stop to what's going on. So you and I would end up in jail protecting our flag.
Oh, yeah, because, it's easy to lock us up and let the illegals and the loony liberal left have their say in an anarchical way of taking over America. But you know what, Tony? We've got to fight back, whether it's you and me, the gray-haired sect of America, or whether it's the younger generation that still has some good people involved. Boy, if we don't fight back soon, something is going to be changed forever in this country. Forever.
It's coming soon.
Yeah.
It's coming soon. Pretty soon there'll be more of them than there are of us.
I couldn't agree more.
The young people of today, the young American people, are going to find out what hatred's all about because these people that have come in here hate us.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Tony, I'm very concerned about what's going on, and I sit here, and I know I sound like I'm preaching to the choir a lot of times, but these nincompoops fail to realize that during the Obama administration, Obama deported over 3 million illegal aliens, but these knotheads today don't want Trump to deport one single person. This is insanity.
Well, they're looking for these people to come in and put the Democratic Party back in power
again.
And
that's right.
That's what it's all about.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you. God bless you, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, Zed. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. What's really hard about doing this job and also somewhat depressing is that I lay the facts out on what's going on to you folks, and with the reason of hoping that you and your family and others, whether they're co-workers or your family members, they're going to go, holy smokes, America is at a crucial point right now. We've got to stand up and fight for the values that made this country great. We can't just roll over and put a welcome sign on our back and let everybody dust their feet off on us. We're at that point. And we're also at that point where I forgot to turn my cell phone off. We're at that point in this country, and I believe the word fight is appropriate. We must start fighting back. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, and boy, oh boy, have they got all the top-notch tires for you for a road trip this summer. Oh, my goodness sakes, absolutely. And before you leave to go on that road trip, don't forget to stop by and check out the free pre-trip safety check. Oh, I said that good this morning. Free pre-trip safety check. There, I said it again. They'll check your tires and your air pressure and your wheel alignment for tire wear, your front-end components, shocks and struts, the battery with the load test, brake components. They want you to make sure that wherever you're going, you get there, turn around, come back safe. And they've got all the tires. I underline all because it's the truth. All the sizes, all the tread designs for all your cars, pickups, SUVs, horse trailers, boat trailers, whatever, all at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. 7 locations are Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Okay, let's see. What have we got coming up next hour? We're going to really discuss a lot of these issues with Richard Manning next hour at 9:06. And he's a straight shooter. He'll tell us all about it. Then at 9:30, we've got from the American Energy Alliance, we have our dear friend Dan Kish is going to be on the program. So you don't want to miss either one of those, and leave the dial right there where it is, 12:30 a.m. K-Bar, and then on the internet, zebbell.com. We're going to take a little break right now. Oh, a quick reminder, Wednesday at 10:10, don't forget, we've got the Old Fishing Hole, sponsored by Sportsman's Warehouse at 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin. Oh, I tell you, old Josh Anderson and the crew, they really have a wonderful, wonderful fishing program, and what a great store, Sportsman's Warehouse in Twin Falls. Right now, we're going to send it over to the big boys from CBS. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Oh, good morning, and welcome back. Zeb at the Ranch on a Monday, July the 15th. My goodness sakes, this month is going fast. Brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, serving you with the best of safe driving tires. Stop in and see them today, along with some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you getting back to being you. Right now, Wheels, could we have this good word for Western Way Services?
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is landing ahead, always at your disposal. Western Way Services.
Oh, my goodness sakes, Western Way Services, get on the route service, get rid of your garbage. How easy is it? Well, I'll tell you, all you have to do is call the number 734-6969 and set them up on notice that you'd like them to come by and pick up your garbage once a week. Oh, my goodness, the route service is absolutely outstanding. Please give them a call, 734-6969, Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Oh, by the way, there's going to be a great big, giant indoor tent event, and it's going to be this week, oh my goodness, at Redder's Showcase. Don't forget, up to 12 months, same as cash, and I mean they're going to have dishwashers starting at just $329, ranges starting at just $399, and air conditioners starting at just $169. What are you waiting for? Oh my, all of this and more at Redder's Showcase, 2611 Overland and Burley. You stop in and see those folks today. Redder's Showcase with their giant indoor tent event, up to 50% off. You better stop in to Redder's Showcase. And real quick also, our big thank yous go out every single day we're on this program to our dear friends over at Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward. He's the manager along with his family and his staff, absolutely serving you and your family with the best possible support and comfort when there's the passing of a loved one. I urge you to call. I urge you to talk to them and get pre-planning information. Number 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. And Joel Heward also serving you and your family at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. It's Monday, and today, I think more than any other Monday, I'm looking forward to having... Yes?
I was just going to let you know I'm still trying to get a hold of Mr. Manning. For some reason, he's not answering.
All right, we'll keep trying. You know, we had this trouble a couple of days ago on a Monday, and he was right in his office. So call back, and whoever you do get on the line, tell them not 5 minutes from now, but now get him on the phone. Would you please?
Yes, sir.
Attaboy, Wheels. Thank you very much. Wheels doing a great job over there helping us. And while I have a minute, it looks like I do, I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on up at Oakley Pioneer Days. Wow. I heard a lot of people say they went to the bump and rub car races on Friday and Saturday night. And let me tell you something. That was wild and woolly. I didn't get a chance to get up there. I was out of town, but I'll tell you what. Now, tonight, they've got that big moto rodeo, and that starts at 6 p.m. this evening. And then on Thursday night, don't forget, they've got a huge, I mean really, really big gymkhana. I think one of the biggest in the Northwest. And then on Friday and Saturday night, the open rodeo and fireworks and everything else. And along with this, every day, during the day, you've got like basketball tournaments, volleyball tournaments. You've got, on Saturday, all the vendors in the park and the Chuck Wagon breakfast, and then, of course, next Saturday, the huge Pioneer Day Parade with the theme, The Best Is Yet to Come. You do not want to miss a minute of all the fun and the festivities for you and your family at Oakley Pioneer Days in Oakley all the way through this next Saturday, the 20th. You stop up and enjoy. Wheels, did we get them?
To be honest, I'm not having any luck, sir.
Oh, well, keep plugging away, would you please? I'd appreciate that. Okay. In the meantime, calls are welcome and appreciated. And I mentioned this in the first hour about our flag being taken down outside an immigration and customs enforcement building. Excuse me just a minute. Outside of Denver. And our flag was taken down, and a Mexican flag was put up in its stead. And then the American flag was vandalized, and it was spray painted with words, "Abolish ICE." And then that flag was put up on another flagpole upside down. I want to hear from you. I want to ask the audience, how much more are we going to take? What happens if some vermin decides to tear down the American flag somewhere in Burley, somewhere in Rupert, somewhere Twin Falls, somewhere anywhere? Are we going to sit by and just, oh, gee, boys will be boys? Or are we going to fight back? As I mentioned earlier this morning, little by little, day by day, the liberal loons in this country are taking over and destroying the moral fabric and value system of America. How much more are we going to take? How much more are we going to take? Are you willing to stand with me and go after these people and these issues and fight them? Or are we going to sit back like a sponge and just absorb the problem? On a talk show, any talk show, we like to have listeners call in and share their thoughts and opinions. And I sometimes worry when people don't call on various issues that they don't care. I hope that's not the case here. There are a lot of things that need to be addressed in our society and corrected. And you can't just say, well, it's a sign of the times. Or you can't lay it on a lame excuse, oh, they're just exercising their right of free speech. No. They're destroying the fabric of America. They're destroying and absolutely desecrating the memory and the value of all the human beings that were American citizens that gave their lives for the freedoms in this country. The freedoms in this country. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Zeb. I think it's time I called in again. I got criticized yesterday in church because I do call in.
Wait a minute. Jerry, stop. You are one of my dearest friends. And do you mean to tell me that somebody at a church service came up to you and criticized you for calling into this program that is based on American values? Come on now, are you serious?
Yes, I am, and he also criticized me for saying, may the Lord bless at the end.
Why?
Anyway, you know, something that really bothers me, Zeb, and I'd like to get my point across if you don't mind, is the fact that they say we need to be sure our laws are enforced even up and through the President of the United States. The Democrats have been working on that for over 2 years, and they have not found one thing in 2 years. But we will let the illegal aliens break the law and get by with it. Every time, there's no punishment for them. They're coming in here, they're robbing us blind with their welfare they're getting. But one of our senators told me that they wasn't getting on your radio program a few months ago.
I remember that.
This just burns my bacon. You know, I don't wish anything bad for anybody, but I think we need to protect our country. We need to protect our flag. I love our flag. You know, I'll say the pledge over and over. I do it all the time. And it's just ridiculous to me that anybody wants to disgrace our country in any way for anything that has ever happened.
Well,
and I know nobody's all the time right, and I for sure am not one of them that's all the time right. But I will say what I think, and I will stand by what I think. And if somebody don't like it, they're free to come up to me and ask me why. I'll tell them.
Jerry,
I love my God, and I ask nothing of anybody else to respect my belief in that thinking.
Absolutely. Jerry, I'm sorry, but I'm going to beleaguer this point a little further. If you don't want to answer my question, you don't have to. But why in the world would someone criticize you for calling in and expressing your opinion? And then I guess the thing that makes me the maddest is that they would criticize you for saying God bless. What is the matter with these people, especially somebody that supposedly calls themselves a Christian?
Well, you know, I have a hard time understanding that. And I figured next Sunday I would call the guy aside and sit down and have a talk with him. I don't understand. I've been saying God bless since, I don't know how many years have I been calling in, 12, 15? And I've done it ever since I began doing it.
And don't stop.
And I'll continue to do it because I love my God, I love my country.
There you go.
To me, that's number one. I love our servicemen. And, you know, I even respect the Democrats in some ways. But when they started murdering millions of babies through abortion, I have a hard time following their beliefs. And when they denounce God, I can't go along with that either. It's just something that does not work for me.
Jerry, I appreciate you, and I stand with you, my friend, and I'm sorry that you suffered that conversation with someone that absolutely I would love to visit with. But, Jerry, God bless you, and I know you're going to say it right back at me, and we will continue to say that on this program. Thank you.
May the Lord bless you and your whole audience, and that even includes them Democrats that can't understand why I care for my country.
There you go.
Care for my flag.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. Very much. Thank you. I don't understand, folks. I'm 71 years old, and I don't understand where in the world we're going. Jerry just said he was at church, and somebody came up and criticized him for saying God bless, and criticized him for calling into a talk show that's an open public forum. I wish that person would call me. Oh, do I wish that person would call me. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Tim. I just barely caught the last half of what Jerry was talking about, and I wouldn't say necessarily criticized, because nobody I don't think has enough guts to do that to me, because I fire right back, but I do get teased a little bit about being on the radio and voicing my opinion, and you know what? That's my opinion.
That's right.
And I have it, and I have the ability to voice it. Whether it infringes on somebody else's opinion, well, that's their problem, you know. And as far as my God and my country, I'm all for it 100%. and ain't nobody going to change my mind.
You know, I think, Riley, I think that a lot of people that would criticize someone for speaking out are jealous because they don't perhaps have the brain matter to put together the phrases that you did in speaking out in high regard for our country. And when I look at criticisms behind the scenes of people that haven't got the guts to call in and voice their opinion, I respect yours even more.
My thought is this. They can't kill me. That's against the law. And if they kill me, they ain't going to eat me because I'm pretty hard-eating. I'm a pretty tough guy. So what else are they going to do? Yell at me?
Yeah.
Just turn off my ears and walk away.
There you go. I really appreciate your calls always, Riley. You're a straight shooter, and I respect that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, sir. You know, I get that all the time from, well, somebody criticized me because I called into your program, or somebody criticized me because I said God bless, or somebody this or somebody that. Well, where are these somebodies? I found out that these somebodies are gutless wonders that absolutely can't construct a sentence, and they're the ones doing the criticizing? Oh, please. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Wheels, did you ever get through to our friend Rick Manning, or what was the deal? Did you ever find out?
I didn't. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if it's just if it was a phone glitch or what, but no, I literally haven't been able to get him, and it's unfortunate.
Well, you tried the number that you have. You have two numbers on file, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you tried both of those?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know what happened, but I would appreciate it if you keep trying just to let them know that we did call, if you would, please. Thank you. All right.
Do that.
Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I go back to my question at the top of this half hour. What would you do if all of a sudden you saw someone yanking down our American flag and throwing it on the ground, literally, and then spray painting it, desecrating it, and putting up another country's flag on that flagpole? What would you do? Well, I can guarantee you one thing what I would do, and my wife knows this is true. I carry a pocket knife, and I'll guarantee you I'm cutting it down. I'm cutting it down. We have to start standing up to these people that want to tear apart everything this country stands for. If we sit back and do nothing, we're letting these crackpots take over our country and promote more chaos. It's got to stop. And we are the ones that have to stop it. I'm surprised more people haven't spoken out on this thing, because it could happen here, it could happen anywhere. It happened over in Colorado. And you give these fools some coverage, and I'm sure that we'll have more of this kind of idiocy. But it's got to stop. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. There is a story out, and we're going to pursue this a lot more in the next couple of days. But we have long said on this program that global warming, climate change, absolutely is nothing more than a means of controlling the people. The people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders and the rest of them that are going, oh, we're all going to burn up in 12 years. No, they're liars, frauds, and charlatans and snake oil salesmen. They're lying, and the real reason now came right straight from Democratic New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's team and her chief of staff. His name is Saikat Chakrabarty. Boy, there's a name to say fast 5 times. Saikat Chakrabarty. And he made the admission and the basically the door opener that it's not about climate at all. It's about controlling the economy. This has been glossed over by most of the major media, the NBCs, ABCs, CBSs, CNNs, etc. No, they won't touch it. No, they won't touch it. But the Green New Deal and the laughable circumstances of climate change are nothing more than control. Gosh, I think we've said that on this program for years. And have had highly respected people come on this program and solidify that. It's not about anything except the economy and controlling the people. Well, now here's an admission from the Chief of Staff, Saikat Chakrabarty, and he admitted this in a meeting with another Green, Democratic Washington Governor Jay Inslee. It's nothing more than talking about control of the economy. And the proposal that they're talking about in the Green New Deal also calls for social, economic, racial, regional, and gender-based justice and equality and cooperative and public ownership, but primarily just having the control over the people with the economy. Mark my words. This story is not going to die. I'm not going to let it. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Well, we have just a moment here. I'm so sorry that Rick Manning was not available this morning. I don't know what happened. I certainly hope the numbers that we had were the appropriate numbers, and hopefully we can get a hold of him. Deanne, if you could come in here for a minute and try another number that was on my sheet here, I'd appreciate that. Let's not forget, let's ride 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Don't forget they're open Monday through Friday 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. And here's the deal with the hot summer and all the activities outside. I urge you to stop over. They've got all the four-wheelers and they've got all the side-by-sides and they've got all the watercraft so you can have fun on the lakes and the streams and the rivers. Oh my goodness. And they've got all the accessories ready for you. I mean, all you have to do is just go over there at 270 Highway 24 and walk in the showroom and go, holy moly, you've got it all, including a great service department to keep you running, too. Let's ride 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. It's true. This is where the fun is sold. Don't forget, let's ride. While you're over there, I also want to remind you, in that area, I should say, about our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Now, they are so accessible, so devoted and dedicated to serving you. I urge you to give them a call, make an appointment. That's the only thing you've got to do, is just take the initiative and call them for an appointment at 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, all of this and so much more with Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Call her real quick. I've got a minute and a half. Go ahead, please.
Okay, as far as the flag situation, I'd go over and I'd cut the rope so they couldn't put it. It'd come down and nothing could go up there until they got it fixed. But that wasn't my original call. The other day I called and I was going to say something to you, and I changed my mind. So this is what I was going to say. Hey, the Democrats say this 2,000-mile wall isn't going to do anything to stop the flow of illegals. But they say that the United States, one country in a world, with us going green and all that renewable resources, can change global warming. Doesn't make any sense.
No.
If you really stop and think about it.
Well, let me ask you a question that's open and upfront. Do you believe that human beings are involved in a cyclical climate change?
I believe they contribute some, but I don't think they're, because people go, oh, these cows farting. What about all the buffalo that used to, or the bison that used to fart?
Yeah,
or whatever.
The question I'm asking, though, is if you really look at dedicated science and whether or not mankind can change or alter anything to do with meteorological happenings, I absolutely will stand behind the people that are the pros, and they say, no, God really is the only one with control of the environment, its happenings, and the thermostat.
Exactly, and where Ocasio-Cortez was saying it's all about the money as far as the Green New Deal. They control the money with the Green New Deal, or the we got to use renewables, but then we control the vote with all the illegals we allow in.
Yeah.
So but I mean, if you think about my analogy, but this 2,000-mile fence or wall, whatever, isn't going to work. But one country is going to work to change the world.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I'm so afraid as to where we're at. Real quick, short answer on this because I'm over time. Are you concerned about the chaotic situation that's going on in this country, and nobody is standing up and saying we got to stop this garbage?
Yeah, I am. And those who do stand up get smacked in the face, and the police stand and watch it happen.
Yeah, that's very true. Thank you, as always. You're a welcome guest. Thank you very much.
Okay, God bless.
Thank you. God bless you. We've got our next guest ready to go in about 30 seconds. Don't forget, Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. Hello, Jeff and the crew. Oh, my goodness sakes, you heard. I think we had Captain Morgan on here last week from Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. Jeff was out sick, and we hope he's better, but they've got a great big summer clearance on mattresses and recliners, and he was saying, holy smokes, they're unloading more recliners from the truck every day. You better get in there and check it out. And they've got a closeout on some great carpet buys. You better stop in and see them today. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more at 459 Overland in Burley. Number to call, 878-2341 if you've got questions. Wonderful staff serving you always with the very, very best at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and boy, I need somebody to get on this program this morning with a lot of common sense, and hopefully we can talk about energy common sense, and therefore we're going to be talking to a man with the American Energy Alliance, my friend for a long time, Dan Kish. How are you?
Hi, Zeb. Good morning. Happy Monday.
I'm not so sure it's a happy Monday. Every day is a crisis day when you're in my business listening to idiots take down the American flag in Colorado and replace it with the Mexican flag and all the other garbage that's going on. You have to wonder sometime if we haven't lost our sanity.
Well, I tell you, Zeb, I watch with the same amazement that you do. I just can't believe the things that happen nowadays. It's just beyond me. But we will see. There's clearly a battle going on about a bunch of different things, and we just got to fight back.
Dan, you are, in my opinion, one of the most respected people to have on talking about energy because you tell it like it is and you're a very honest, sincere individual. You know, I got into kind of a discussion last Friday with some people that say, oh, the Green New Deal, that's going to be phenomenal. That's going to be great to convert over to solar and wind. And I sat there and I listened to them, and then I said, really? Have you thought about conversion costs? Have you thought about what it's going to cost the American public and the taxpayer? Aunt Martha and Uncle Fred, they may lose all their savings trying to convert their home. All of this is going to be a huge cost factor, and really we're not saving anything at all, and we're creating a big void in an energy program that might just go flat on its face. How would you respond to what I just said?
Well, I'd agree with you, but it's not just going to be taxpayers, it's going to be ratepayers as well, because the cost of energy will go up. Because honestly, Zeb, I mean, let's be honest about this. This isn't about energy. Last week, AOC's chief of staff was quoted in the Washington Post as saying this didn't have anything to do with climate at all, had everything to do with transforming the entire U.S. economy.
Right.
And, there's an old adage here in Washington that a Washington faux pas is when somebody tells the truth. And that's what happened there. I mean, they admitted this is not the end they're looking for with the Green New Deal. It's a way to get control over all of our lives, boss us around, take more money out of our pocket and make energy more expensive so we'll use less because, and they'll use as much as they want. You could bet on that. They're just like they fly around in jets everywhere and then tell everybody else to bicycle to work.
Well, Dan, when you look at the situation, look at rural America. I don't care if it's a dairy farm in Wisconsin. I don't care if it's a potato field here in Idaho. I don't care if it's a cattle ranching situation in Texas. Look at rural America. Look at the money derived for the local communities, for the local schools, everything. We are dependent every single day on an energy program that works and allows people to communicate, allows people to travel to their jobs or do their jobs, and you are going to stop that completely and go to a green energy? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. All these ideas, Zeb, are cooked up in the cities. They're cooked up by people who, take a subway because everything's jammed in there as tight as sardines, and they're all. If you look at who comes up with these ideas, it's always these people that live in urban areas who have no appreciation at all for the fact that the commodities that they consume, the food they eat, everything that they have comes from out there beyond where they can see. And so they don't understand distances because they cover distances at 500 miles an hour in a jet airplane and just look down, it looks all empty. But there are people down there on the ground. Those people are the ones who are keeping the lights on. They're the ones that are keeping the water moving. They're the ones that keep the crops coming so people don't starve to death. And the energy that's being produced and consumed as well. So that's part of our problem. Most of our media is focused in New York City and Washington, D.C., and they really don't have much of an appreciation for what it's like for people who are just great Americans who are out there doing the Lord's work.
And it really is the truth, but I mean, when you talk about control, and that's the 7-letter word I think this is all about, is control. The AOCs and the Bernie Sanders and the Kamala Harrises and the left in general, they absolutely want to see the rural America have to just throw their hands up in the air and move to a commune in Los Angeles or Frisco or Seattle or Chicago or whatever and get off the land and be completely subservient to the government. That's not a conspiracy theory. I honestly believe that's what they want.
Well, I think, my experience has led me to conclude that as part of whatever it may be, trying to stop livestock operations, trying to stop timber harvesting, and forest management. So we watch all our forests burn up in the middle of the summer, rather than having them managed properly. And those sorts of things are all led by, I guess, some of them are well-meaning. I think the vast majority of the people out there who are kind of the sheep who follow this just think they're saving the earth. But the people behind this understand fully well what the demographics are. We can see it every time we look at a presidential election map, the colors of the United States. If you look at a county map, it's almost the entire country is red, and yet in these very high-populated urban areas, you've got lots and lots of people with lots and lots of votes, and they're in blue. And if you take away the economic opportunities that exist, or make energy so expensive that people can't afford to get around out in America, then that drives people into the city. So, it's easier to control people when they're all together.
You know, you are a great spokesman for energy and what's going on, also with the environment, et cetera. And President Trump, let me ask you this. Is President Trump ever going to get any credit for what he's doing on environmental achievements?
Well, you know, the truth of the matter is the environmental movement that I sort of remember from my youth is much different than the environmental movement of today, which has morphed into a left-wing attempt to establish control and change the way people live, and it's very top-down. You know, while Americans are out there cleaning up and taking care of the land because they're stewards and it's God's creation and they know that's their obligation, folks were pushing for political fixes back here in Washington and the rest. And the fact of the matter is, in many of the states, not just many of the states, all of the states, our air is cleaner today than it's ever been in any of our lifetimes. And that's largely a function of new technologies. It's a function of moving forward. It's a function of trying to reduce waste because it makes economic sense, not because somebody tells you to specifically. And so it's unlikely that President Trump is going to get any credit from the environmentalists because they're really a wholly owned subsidiary of the Democratic Party and the left, and have been for a couple of decades now. And as a consequence, he's not going to get credit from them, but from real people. I watched his press conference last week, and I don't know if you caught any of it, Zeb, but it was he had a fellow who ran a bait and tackle operation down in Florida who was down there who was just singing his praise and talking about how wonderful it is the way things are cleaning up down there in Florida as a result of some of the things that the president is doing. Those are real on-the-ground examples, not made-up stuff or, you know, allegations of this, that, and the other thing. And meanwhile, we're still keeping the lid on the price of energy. I just saw last week that the price of propane has dropped to half of what it was last year. That means a lot when you live out in rural America, as you know.
Absolutely. You know, that's just the point I'm getting at, though. I don't feel that even though when you look at an overall map of the United States and you look at all the red states and the red populace that believe in conservatism and believe in embracing the heritage of our great United States of America, then you look at the blue areas, Frisco, L.A., Chicago, New York, etc. Those are the people that absolutely want to take control over us, eliminate the Electoral College, change the Constitution, and basically be the lords over us, the servants. That's what's got me so afraid.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're good to be on your guard because things that they used to never say in public, they now pretty much say it right out in front of God and everybody. And it's pretty amazing, Zeb. You know, like I say, last week, the fellow who was responsible for putting together AOC's Green Deal said that it really wasn't about climate. It was about controlling the economy, which means controlling people, which means controlling free Americans, U.S. citizens. That's not what our government was formed for. Our government was formed to put fence around government and establish natural rights that belong to human beings as gifts from God. And we see a significant change in the way that they're doing it. But from my perspective, I actually welcome it because at least it's truth in advertising. They're not pretending to be something they aren't anymore. They're just coming right out and saying they want to control our lives.
You know, though, Dan, what does it say about our American public? What does it say about honoring and remembering the blood, sweat, tears, and lives that were given for this great country of America when we stand here and we do nothing? We don't say anything. We don't react. We don't demand that our politicians honor what we want instead of what they're trying to do. What does it say about America? Are we that blasé and naive that we're going to accept what they're doing?
Well, we still have secret ballots. I hope that people will get more involved. I mean, for example, if folks find out that the schools are teaching their kids things they don't want them to be taught, or things that go counter to the actual history of the United States, or these other things, they really need to speak up. And so you're right. I mean, there's an obligation with the rights that come as a consequence of our natural rights. Also go the responsibilities to defend them. President Reagan said that we're only one generation away from losing those rights if we don't instill in our kids an appreciation for that. And so you're right. I get worried about it as well, especially if I happen to turn on some of those television channels and listen to the nonsense that's spouted there from people who honestly don't understand how this country works.
What about the opportunities for you, Dan Kish, a longtime friend of this program? Why haven't people made overtures to you to go and debate the likes of like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? We need more people. I'd be happy to. I would love to get involved in the fray with these people that are trying to turn America upside down and make us energy dependent again. I would love it. What about you, though, Dan? Are you ever invited to have kind of on the same dais conversation with some of these people and set the record straight?
Oh, occasionally, Zeb. And, of course, it helps that folks like you are out there doing the Lord's work and trying to get the message out to people who care about this country and want to make sure it's left in a better condition than they found it, which is common sense conservative stewardship. And so, we get the opportunity to do this thing. I have to tell you that, in all honesty, when I was doing my work in Congress and the like, I couldn't speak as freely as I can now, and it's a little liberating to be able to do that.
I see.
I thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Well, I'm blessed to have you on this program. But if most Americans would understand, and that's the problem, though, they can't understand if they're not given the right information. They're not going to hear on ABC, CBS, or CNN that the Green New Deal is going to cost $93 trillion over a decade, which means it's absolutely going to put some people into social poverty. They're not going to hear these stories. So how are we going to get the word out when they, being the American public, don't have the opportunity to really learn the honest truth?
Yeah, well, that's why I give the president credit, because he's been willing to stand up and point directly at the Green New Deal and talk about how ridiculous it is. No airplanes and trains to Hawaii and all of these wacky things. And honestly, $93 trillion is that can't be done. That's half our GDP per year, just to do something which may or may not have any impact. I mean, when we get down to it, if the United States disappeared tomorrow, China and India would their increase in carbon dioxide emissions, if that's the issue, that's certainly the premise of their argument, but if that's the issue, they would increase sufficiently over the next several years to be able to replace all of that carbon dioxide simply because we're gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference what the United States does. We run a pretty tight ship, and we can always do better, but all in all, I'd say we do pretty good.
And a glaring example, I'll leave you with this final thought, and I'd like you to respond to it. A glaring example of idiocy, incompetency, and what green energy could cause was the blackout in New York City over the last couple of days. And without a really good grid of electricity, we could make those blackouts commonplace.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the problems with wind and solar is that, among other things, they because they're intermittent, when the good Lord decides to shine the sun, it works, and when he doesn't, it doesn't, and the same thing with wind. And so ultimately what we've got here is a system that we used to be able to depend upon it, and it's getting weaker and weaker as time goes by, and they'll point to all kinds of issues with regard to cybersecurity and all the rest, but the worst things happening in the grid right now are the things the government is encouraging in places like New York. I mean, Governor Cuomo there has basically taken the most aggressive stance. His stance on carbon dioxide is as strong or stronger than California's, and people are going to start paying the price of that in New York.
Absolutely. Dan, anytime and every time you'd like to come on this program, you are more than welcome. With the American Energy Alliance, Matt Kish, I called you Dan. What did I say just a minute ago? I hope I apologize. Did I say the right name or the wrong name?
Oh, you're confusing me with my brother.
No, I tell you what, I apologize. I don't know why I threw Matt in there for all of a sudden, but I think it's because I went through Matt Martini to get you on the program, and I apologize. Dan Kish, a longtime friend, you can tell I forgot his name, with the American Energy Alliance. God bless you, Dan, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Zeb. God bless you and your audience.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Boy, sometimes it's embarrassing when you call someone in the wrong name, and I did, and I apologize for that. Thank you very much to Dan Kish with the American Energy Alliance. Kind of telling you like it is. The Green New Deal isn't about energy at all. It's all about controlling you and me. Time for the weather forecast, and the weather brought to you this hour by our friends at Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, and they've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. Wow, that's a long time in being the best at what they do in serving you with the best of tax return preparation and tax planning, and don't forget financial statement preparation, retirement planning, all of this and so much more by people that are dedicated to serving you, your family, and your business. Please get a hold of them today with offices in Burley and Rupert. Don't forget the best. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Another sunny summer day here in the Valley as we get ready to kick off this work week. And today we are looking at sunny skies, expecting a high of about 90. A little bit on the breezy side, winds out of the west at about 8 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low of 58. Tomorrow, a little bit of cloud cover. Partly sunny is what we're expecting with a high of 84. Overnight low of 55. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, back to sunny skies and upper 80s. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
And thank you, Gina. Brought to everybody this hour by Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. Like I said, over 50 years of service to you, your family, and your business. Please get a hold of them today. Offices in Burley and Rupert. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. I've got time for a call or two, so give me a jingle. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Did you hear about Kirsten Gillibrand from New York? Oh, Senator Gillibrand. Every one of these Democrats are pandering, just absolutely pandering for the vote, and they're going, oh, we are so sorry. Like in Beto O'Rourke's case, him and his family say, we're descendants of slave owners, and we're so sorry. And we want to make it right, so please vote for us and we'll help. Yeah, right. And then Kirsten Gillibrand. I'm so sorry because I've had my whole life, I've had white privilege. I am fed up with these politicians acting so stupid and apologizing for who and what they are and where they came from. Whew. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Zeb, I love climate change. The reason why I love climate change is because every day it's something a little bit different. But it's coming from nature, wherever you want to call it.
No, I'm calling it, it's coming from God's will, and man has nothing to do with changing climate. I mean, I really look at the lessening in our society of our faith and our values, and we don't appreciate that our Heavenly Father is the one that created this great earth and basically is still in control all the way. And for these idiot nincompoops that think man can change and alter it, boy, that's elevating us to a position that we cannot attain.
Well, do you have a season that you're more favorable of? I mean, like winter, summer, fall?
No, I'll tell you what, any season that I'm alive and kicking and able to do what I like to do and visit with people and be a part of the activities that I enjoy, I couldn't care less if it's in wintertime, springtime, summer, or fall. I just am thankful for what I have.
Yeah, and just think, in the wintertime, if you don't like where it's cold, you can go where it's warm.
Doggone right. Well, you can't. You won't be able to with the Green New Deal because you won't be able to buy the gas for a vehicle that's going to sit in your garage for the rest of your life.
You got that right, buddy.
All right. Hey, good to hear from you. Hope Nancy's not sneezing anymore.
She's what?
I hope Nancy's not sneezing anymore.
No, she isn't. We're out in the yard here working.
Well,
our garden, which we both love to do.
Well, good for you.
And when you talk about weather change and everything, I look forward to what's coming, the fall, the harvest, all those things that is given to us by our Father in heaven.
There you go. I got to run, and I appreciate it, Keith. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.
I will.
All right, sir. Appreciate it. And right now, I also want to remind you about our friends at Patterson's. Oh, my goodness sakes, 421 Main in Burley. My goodness sakes. They are having a closeout on power cords. Need a power cord? They've got all your power cords. They got the monster cables 50% off. They've got all your electronic needs, home theater systems. Oh, yeah. Your home is your palace and your home theater system. Surveillance cameras, car stereos. Woo! And televisions, they've got them all. You better stop in for a great selection. I'm telling you, these people are just really, really good, and they care about you. Patterson's, and that's 421 East Main in Burley. Number to call, 678-6997. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6. Right now, we're going to take a little break and send it back over to our main studios. And Wheels, if you get a chance, call me during the break. I'd like to visit with you for a second. Thank you. News next from CBS. Oh, good morning, good morning. Zeb Bell with a little frog in his throat this morning, but we're going to survive. Glad to have you back with us for hour number 3. And, of course, we're brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best in safe driving tires, along with some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Want to say a great big shout out, and I welcome you folks to find out more about Greystone Crossing, independent living for seniors, and I guarantee you're going to be so thankful because 3 homemade meals per day, snacks provided every day, housekeeping and transportation provided to you to go to local appointments, all of this and more at Greystone Crossing. I would urge you right now to call the number and find out more. Make an appointment and stop by for a visit. 650-4979. That number again, 650-4979. Greystone Crossing. Absolutely a wonderful, wonderful place for seniors to live, right on 21st Street, just a mile east of Walmart in the Burley-Hayburn area. Stop over and see them today. Give them a call, 650-4979. Greystone Crossing, independent senior living. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple of weeks ago, I had a phone call from this next gentleman, and He lives back in the Minnesota area of St. Louis Park, and I asked him to come on my program and talk a little bit about what's going on back in Minnesota politically. And I'm going to say his last name, and I'm probably going to mispronounce it, and I'm going to ask him to correct me. I say good morning to Mr. Al Teesh. Al, are you there?
Yes, I am, Zeb.
Now tell me, how close was I on the last name?
Way off.
Okay.
Better than most.
Well, listen, go ahead and correct me because I want to make sure I say it right.
It's Al Twish.
Twish. Okay, with a W in there. Okay, Twish. Got it.
The majority of the populace get that as Touche.
Okay. Well, we've got it as Twish.
The nurses, when they're contemplating on calling my name, they get a little red in the face.
All right. Al, and Wheels over at the station, my engineer, we've got a little bit of feedback. Help me on that, if you would. The reason I asked Al to come on the program after we had a nice visit is that not only does he know the political climate back at St. Louis Park, Minnesota, and the surrounding area, but he's aware of some of the major changes that are taking place. Al, let's start with St. Louis Park, first of all, and their city council. Why, in your opinion, did the city council sit down and vote 5-0 to cancel the Pledge of Allegiance to our country?
I was looking a little bit more into the city council and the how it's organized and that. What we have here is the third, what they call the third. Oh, come on here. I'll get her.
Are you there, Al?
Okay, we have intellectuals. Now, these are the new intellectuals. They're not the literary intellectuals, but the like on the scientific side, where they cut out the middle guy, the intelligent people, because they know better than us.
Mm-hmm.
And then a week before they decided to take the pledge out, they had a city council, and Ilhan Omar was there. Now, that's the reason why they wanted to take the pledge out, because we should be pledging to Allah.
Well, no, Al, I am, but I'm going to interrupt you on occasion because I don't want you to just ramble. I want to get some points made. Number one, now we do not have, if you do, say you do, we don't have verifiable proof that that's what she wanted to do. And I only deal in facts on this program. So if you know and you've got something in writing that they wanted to pledge allegiance to Allah, go ahead and tell me. But if not, don't make an allegation. I won't have that on the program.
Okay, Zeb. But that's the only thing we could conclude there. I'm sorry. It's not factual, but that's the reason why, a week later they decided to say a non-citizen that owns a home doesn't like the pledge. That's like saying if a foreigner comes over here, gets a hotel in Minneapolis, and is going to go down to the Mall of America, and they're standing by the light rail in front of the stadium, and they hear the national anthem, they call up the governor of Minnesota and say, well, we don't like that. And the governor says, well, we're not going to say the anthem anymore.
Yeah. What about the complexion?
The other thing is strange about this city council, they put their own little Bill of Rights in there that they won't discriminate against religion and creed and national origin. Now, this kind of confuses me, because why would you, for one non-citizen, discriminate against the national origin of Americans?
Yeah.
Are you with me?
I am.
And there's going to be another rally today, and I want to get down there, and I want to show the people that you need to read your city charters and whatnot.
What is the city council afraid of, Al, in your opinion? I want to go into the depth of the thinking here. Why in the world something that takes only a maximum of 17 seconds to recite, the Pledge of Allegiance to our United States, why would they want to jeopardize their re-election or their power base in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, and upset everybody to the point where they want to have the general populace throw them out of office? Why would they do this?
It is Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, for this international common good and New World Order.
You think that's the reason?
When you read their 2030 goals, it's all underneath Agenda 2030, the governance for sustainable development. And they also have a comprehensive 2040 plan there. And, like I say, when you go in there, you read their city charter, it basically, they're a municipal corporation. So in actuality, the mayor isn't a mayor, he's a CEO.
Mm-hmm.
They can go in there and they can change zoning and, do all sorts of crazy things on the taxpayers' dime.
What about the rest of the city council, though? I want to know a little bit more about their personalities, their businesses that they're involved in, etc. I mean, what do you know about these people that would cause them to weaken and go completely liberal and stop our pledge? I mean, what do you know about these people that's fact?
I don't really know yet. I want to get more in their background. This is kind of new to me. It's brought me into a new direction on how all this sustainable development, Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, and everything's coming into play. And I've really learned a lot from that, and it's kind of extended me down to Shaska, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched one of their council meetings, and it was like unbelievable here how they're shifting the taxpayers' dollars around to push their agendas, and it's like basically they're bilking the taxpayers. All these NGOs, non-governmental organizations, all these public-private partnerships, which are all fascism because we have a lot of bureaucrats or intellectuals making decisions for the rest of us. And what they're doing is they're cutting the middleman out, the intelligent people out. And what we're seeing here is they're also cutting the human factor out, individuality and things of those things.
Mm-hmm. Al, one of the things...
That's what we're seeing.
One of the things that really bothers me is I went to school back there in Minnesota. That's where I went to college. And the complexion and the general personality of the state has really, really changed and became so much more liberal to the point where and I want you to elaborate on this and give me your opinion, how could a person like Ilhan Omar become a national congressman with her background and her very open hate for America and us, the taxpayers?
It's unbelievable how asleep the populace really is. And we have to question how much the system is really rigged. Now, for 9 years now, they've been revamping the vehicle registration. Now, we know that's tied to voting. And they've thrown about $150 million at it. And going with this real ID, we know it's tied to national, right? Now, they've been working on this behind the scenes for 9 years. There's been no oversight with the governor. And previous governor was Governor Dayton. Now, we have to question what's going on with that Minnesota Lars. And now they're going to throw another $45 million against it, and I think they've got enough backlash where they say, well, we need to take it away from the previous vendors that's got it all messed up and move it on over to a private.
Well, tell me a little...
they're having to hire different registers at the vehicle registration offices because they're actually processing the vehicle registration.
Okay. But what about the votes for Ilhan Omar? I mean, talk to me a little bit about that, Al, from a personal taxpayer's viewpoint, yours. How did this woman gain so much in popularity? How did this woman get the vote of people from Minnesota to send her back to Washington, D.C. to be a congressional representative, knowing her background and what she thinks of America? How did she do it?
The Somali resettlement happens to be down in Minneapolis.
Ah.
And they call that little Mogadishu or something, and they all stick together. And this is how Islam does it. They whittle away at one little piece at a time. It'll be like the pledge or this or that. They whittle away one little piece at a time.
Is there a chance, after what you've been seeing and learning about Ilhan Omar and the rest of the American public finding her to be a real troublemaker, is there a chance that the people in Minnesota, you think in the next election, will wake up and throw her out as a one-bullet Barney, or do you think she's going to get reelected?
I'm not quite certain yet. With the reaction of St. Louis Park, I think this is really gonna wake a lot of people up. Now we have Minneapolis, we have Edina, and Hopkins. These are the three communities that decided not to say the pledge, and these are all in Hennepin County. These are all under her district.
Oh my! So it's more.
The fourth one. I'm glad to see the fourth one fight back and wake it up. Now this might wake the other three up.
What about the general public, though, Al? I mean,
the city council also said because St. Louis Park has a petty tradition of saying the pledge. Well, this is a national tradition.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're discriminating against the whole nation, against America. You know, and they're not supposed to discriminate against place of origin, especially for a non-citizen.
You know, the general complexion of the people that you talk to, where you buy your groceries, get your gas, and other people that you associate with, are they as outraged as you are and want to speak out against this? Or is it just kind of like, oh, well, somebody better change it, hope somebody stands up? Are people naive in thinking that if they don't get involved, it's not going to change?
I'm not quite sure yet. I know people are afraid to speak out because through the Obama term, and you listen to what I call them the demonic party. They are no longer the Democrat Party. They are the demonic party. You know, they are the baby killers. They got a little taste of blood like that chicken in the chicken yard with this abortion thing, right? And what do you got to do with that hound when he gets a hold of a chicken? You never, you got to put him down.
Well, it's...
You're never gonna, get that hound to start going after the chickens in the coop.
Well, we just had a case, Al, in Colorado.
Everything about them is demonic.
Right.
They want to tear down the moral fabric of the foundation of family, all that. And they come out with white supremacy, so they hate the white people. All this racial tension that they create. So during the Obama era, everybody was afraid to speak out because we didn't see that racism out here, but we're looking around each other kind of, whoa, is it really that bad out here?
Yeah. Al, I am, but I want to ask you one more question. I'm about out of time in this segment, and I want to go over this with you a little bit. In this past weekend, we had the American flag taken down that was flying over an ICE facility in Colorado, Immigration and Custom Enforcement, and the people that did this, they put up a Mexican flag, and then they took the American flag and desecrated the flag, painted over it, and then hung it back up upside down. Wow. I mean, American public, is sooner or later we got to stand up and fight back, do we not?
Yes, we do. And we have to realize, audience there, that they are the few. They are the few. And if things go to rumble and tumble, it'll be quick. Even our veteran special forces say this. Now, you have to remember, you have a government that doesn't even know what bathroom to use. Yeah, it's time to replace your government, not the bathroom.
Amen. You mentioned something a moment ago that needs to be elaborated on, and
what's really scary, Zeb, is we got the Speaker of the House, the third in concession of leading this country, going on a presser telling illegal criminals that have raped, killed, molested children, you name it, telling them how to evade the rule of law and evade ICE.
Absolutely.
Now, that's a scary thing, and that should wake people up really quick right there alone.
But what about you, though, Al? Are you involved in any kind of a citizens group, or are you doing this on your own? Are you fighting back on your own, or do you have a nucleus of power with you of people that are just basically saying they've had enough? What's the story there?
This is the first I'm reaching out here now. I've been studying this for 10 years now, and everything's just kind of coming into a realm why they're calling us white supremacists. Now, if you go on Google and you Google white couples, you're going to see mixed race couples through there. You might see one or two white couple. Now, what they want to do, and the reason why year 2000, United Nations had this migration replacement program. So that's why you see all this migration going on. Why they want the open borders, especially in the Western, European and America, the white culture. They want to breed the white culture out, and what they want to do is turn us all into like this light brown, humanity into like a light brown skin. And this all comes from a study. Let me get his name here. Back in the day, a lot of this wicked stuff is coming from the stuff that Hitler pulled.
Well, the whole thing I want to put on this
Calgary were the plan to eliminate the white race, and it also has to do with the Christianity and the Jewish. Where like I'm saying is they want to. That's why they're so up on multiracial marriages and things like that.
Well, I tell you, I think your fears. This is
the culture engineering that's taking place on us right now. We don't even realize it's happening.
I agree with you. I think that there's a lot of things that need to be addressed in a very sincere and kind of a well-controlled, calm background that's not happening on the left. And there's being a force feeding to us to accept everything that they want to do. Al, I am out of time on this segment, but I want to tell you that please go to the meeting that they're going to have regarding the Pledge of Allegiance at East St. Louis Park, and let me know the gist of what's happening there, and will they reincorporate the use of the pledge? I'd like to know about that.
Do you want me to call you on the landline or into the radio?
No, just call me on the landline after you find out more facts and particulars, and we'll discuss it. But I want to see if they've had a change of heart to re-implement our Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'd follow up on that, I'd really appreciate it.
Okay, and really quick, I'm just starting to get into this, so I'm starting to reach out now with all my knowledge.
All right.
I ordered the Agenda 21 United Nations Earth Summit, Agenda 21 that has all the evils in it, that the wildlands projects are where no humans are going to go. That's the blueprint of it all, and they're all making it sound nice with this 2030.
I guess the connection is gone. There went the phone line. Al Twish, and back in East St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Some of which he said I think is a stretch, but I wanted to get his viewpoint on the air this morning in regards to the Pledge of Allegiance, and I certainly appreciate his comments, and we're going to follow up with him and use him as kind of a liaison back in that area. Wheels, did the phone just disconnect, or did we lose the contact? I believe it was on a cell phone, and what happened?
Yeah, the phone line had just gotten cut off, and we had lost connection.
All right, well, I appreciate your help. Thank you very much. But Al will be back, and we'll find out more about what happened in East St. Louis Park with the canceling, if you will, of the Pledge of Allegiance. You know, there's a lot of things to discuss, folks. We got a lot of ground to cover. And whether you agree with everything Al said or not, that's irrelevant. The fact is, our Pledge of Allegiance is under siege. I want to remind you about all the big things, happy things, and fun things that are going on at your Oakley Pioneer Days up in Oakley all the way through Saturday of this week. Oh, my goodness. Tonight's the big Moto Rodeo, and tomorrow we're going to have a representative on from Oakley, and we're going to be talking about all the different things that are going on up there. Tonight's the Moto Rodeo starting at 6 p.m., and then, of course, on Thursday night, you've got that world-famous huge gymkhana. Friday and Saturday night, the open rodeo and the fireworks. And don't forget, for your family fun, they're going to also have volleyball tournaments and basketball tournaments, chuck wagon breakfasts, and they're going to have that famous Goose Creek runoff. And then next Saturday, of course, the great big Pioneer Day Parade through Oakley. It is one of the biggest, one of the best anywhere at any time, with the theme the best is yet to come. Don't miss a minute of it, and get on up to Oakley and just enjoy all the fun of Oakley Pioneer Days for 2019. Want to also say some of the businesses that are saying come on up to Oakley and enjoy all the fun and frivolity that we're having. Smith's Cafe at 135 East Main in Oakley. Oh my goodness, they're open Monday through Saturday, 6:30 in the morning until all the customers are gone. Absolutely, with the best of burgers and ice cold pop and lemonade, iced tea, you name it, it's all there at Smith's Cafe. You stop up and see these good people in Oakley, along with Speaker of the House Scott Bedke. Representative Scott Bedke is a rancher right there in the Oakley area, and he invites everybody to come on up to the Oakley Pioneer Days, 132 years of family Western traditions. Thank you very much, all the folks that put this all together every year, and Speaker of the House, Representative Scott Bedke, saying, come on up to Oakley, bring your family, and have a good time. Oh my, let's see what else we got cooking here. We're going to have at 10:32 our lovely Miss Vicky with Vicky's Country Gardens. And then after the weather forecast this next half hour, we're going to be visiting with Megan over at Greystone. That's coming up. We got a full hour coming up with all these great people, but right now we're going to turn it over to our main studio, Wheels, and this break at the bottom of the hour.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Did you ever have a bad day that kept escalating and getting worse and worse? Everything I've touched has gone sour here this morning. Once again, we're going to be going to Vicky in just a moment, and then after our weather forecast, we're going to be talking to the folks at Greystone Crossing. Kelly's going to be on our program, and we're looking forward to that. But right now, without further ado, on a nice, warm Monday, July 15th, we say good morning to the lovely Miss Vicky at Vicky's Country Gardens, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. How are you?
I'm just great, Zeb. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. What can we say?
Did you ever have one of those days where no matter what you do or no matter what you did or tried to do, it didn't turn out real good?
Well, unfortunately, I have more of those than I'd like to think about.
Oh, it's Monday. It's Monday.
I have more of those than I have more Mondays in a week than most people should have.
Oh, I know, but the problem is when they hear us, they know that we goofed. So,
yeah.
Anyway, Vicki, I was going to ask you, I think we'll start the program off by this. Most of the gardening crops, I would assume, are really close to being harvested. Okay, that's a gimme. But I had a lady call me, and she said, would you have Vicky give kind of a little dissertation on what to do after the crops are out of the ground? The caring for the crops, preparing them possibly for food storage and that type of thing. And I thought, yeah, that's a good question.
Well, it kind of depends on the crop and that you're doing. Like with onions, if you're going to store onions for the winter, when you pull those, you want to lay them out and let them dry really good. You want them out in a sunny area with up on something so the air can circulate all the way around them. You want those skins to dry real dry. You want to knock all the dirt off of them and don't have any moisture on them at all when you go to store them, and then they'll pretty much keep all winter long if you'll take care of them right. Either some people use old nylons and that kind of thing, something that will let air circulate around the onion as they hang them in a dark, cool place, and they'll keep that way. A lot of your other stuff is going to be, if you're going to can it, your best bet on canning, from my experience, is be ready to can it when you pick it. Stuff cans nicer and is fresher when you're set up and ready and you pick the stuff and you can it that same day if you possibly can. Everything just seems to seems to just go better doing that. You can refrigerate some things if you've got extra refrigerators. You can do that. But basically, it's just a matter of the care of them, refrigeration, or the immediate canning of them as fast as you like. Cucumbers, to me, cucumbers, when you're picking them for pickles, I like to pick early in the morning and be set up and throw them in some ice water and then can them.
Okay. Now, I do have a question there. A lady that wrote that letter about taking care of the food after you've harvested it, and she was asking about, please have somebody, you or the somebody, explain about the dangers of home canning. How do you know if you've done the right job?
Well, there's a lot of your extension agents and that will test pressure cookers. That's the ones that get you in trouble, is the pressure cookers. A lot of times, because if you don't know what you're doing on that, you don't pressure it right. You can get bad things. If you're just water bathing some of the stuff, just make sure your seal is good and solid. I mean, the lid on the top of the jar, the little button has to be pushed. Has to be down. You don't push it down; it has to pull itself down. Just follow your canning instructions, your canning books. Wash your product really well. Cook it the way it tells you to, and clean, sterile jars, and basically that's pretty much the directions on that. Your canning books, your Kirk canning book, your Ball canning books, they all have very good tips on how to process your product. Different size jars you process at different times. So and you can always call your county extension offices, and they do classes and all that type of stuff in canning. A lot of your vegetables, you can just wash them, blanch them, and freeze them, and it works really nice, too. So There's different ways of taking care of the vegetables. I do a lot of freezing of my stuff that I'm going to do, vegetables and that, if I'm, and then I can use them later, like peppers and tomatoes and things like that. You can freeze them and use them later. So
okay. Now the bugs are out there. There are bugs everywhere. What about our fruit trees? What about everything else? Bugs.
It is. The aphid are probably as thick this year as I think I've ever seen them. I don't know if it was the spring. I don't know what it is, but aphids are really thick. And I tell people to go out and walk through your garden and look at your plants. If a plant just isn't looking right, if there's something about it, the color's a little off, the leaves are a little droopy, the leaves are a little discolored and that type of thing, take a minute, stop, and look at that plant. Flip that leaf over, look at it, look at the stems. There's a good chance you're going to find you've got critters working on it. You've got some aphid, some spider mites, the earwigs have been really bad for chewing on a lot of the leaves and things like that. So and they can damage your plant. They weaken your plant so it does not produce good. So at that point in time, you want to get your insecticides out, spray in the evening when it's cool, and try to get rid of them. But you do have to monitor your plants in your garden, because those insects can do you a lot of damage in a very short period of time.
Well, okay, I got a dumb question.
It's the little green bugs that's crawling on everything. Sometimes they're black.
Okay.
But most of the time they're just a real light green, and they'll just get where they just layer up on the stem of a plant or on the back of the leaf. But right now they are thick. They're going to get thicker because the hay's going down again. So
okay.
They're going to be moving into everybody's yards.
Well, real quick, though, before we take this call, answer this, and this is really kind of a naive question on my part because I don't know. When you go to spray, though, the spray will basically get on the top side of the leaf. What about the underside of the leaf?
You need to literally turn that sprayer and put gloves on and kind of move those leaves up and get underneath and hit the back side of those leaves. Wear some good gloves, a long sleeve shirt to where you can actually get underneath and tip those leaves upside down and spray on the back of them, because that's where you're going to do your best killing on them, is coming from the bottom up, not the top down.
Okay. We have a quick call. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air, please.
I missed on the onions. Are they, you said, out in the sun or in the shade, and should garlic be treated the same as onions to dry them out?
Yes, garlic needs to be treated the same way. You want the skins on it as dry as you can. The sun, out in the sun is a good time if you can put them on like a screen or something so that the air can circulate. Either that or you're going to have to keep turning them a lot, rotating them so that they, wherever they're sitting on something, that isn't going to dry. You want them dry all the way around, as dry as you can get them.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, caller. Okay, it is time for the Vicky's Country Garden tip of the week. What is it this week?
Well, this week I want to let everybody know that I've got a product coming in that is going to be an awesome product. It's organic, and it is called Tree Saver. We've had it years ago, and it is molasses with a lot of other nutrient in it. It can turn trees around that are almost dead. I will have it in the next couple of weeks, but it is a product that it's just an awesome product. There's just nothing else you can say about it. It has saved a lot of trees in the Boise area. So if you've got something that's struggling, I've also got a product coming in called Chicken Soup that is liquid chicken manure that you can mix and water tomatoes and vegetables and plants with. It's an awesome product also. Brand new out, and we'll have it in probably the next week to 10 days. But if you're having troubles with anything, with trees or anything that's weak and having some issues from borers and things of that nature, treat for the borers and then give them a shot of this Tree Saver, and it will give it the energy to kick back and grow. So it's some stuff that's going to really help our gardens take off and grow this year.
Absolutely. I almost forgot, Vicki, and I've got to get this in real quick. A lady had sent me an email, and she said, please ask Miss Vicki, what are the best trees to plant for windbreaks for fast growth? And is it too late to plant them for this year?
Well, it's not too late to plant them if you can find them. If you're wanting deciduous trees for windbreaks, any of your poplars and that are a good fast-growing tree that work well. You can get the columnar type or the ones that have a good head on them. You can just plant them real close together, and they're fast-growing. If you're wanting a solid windbreak year-round, it's going to have to go into the evergreen life. And that is those are a little slower growing. You just have to start with a little bigger product. But your pines, your arborvitaes, those kind of things are your windbreaks for the year round. Lilacs work as a good windbreak. Again, deciduous, so they lose their leaves. But there's a lot of different tall bushes and things like that that'll work.
Okay, so it's not too late in the season to go ahead and get something in the ground started for this early fall and winter, right?
No, not as long as you just have to realize that you have to take care of it a little bit better with the heat and everything. You want to make sure you've got ample water, and you're not going to plant it and leave for 3 weeks and then come back and hope it had been watered.
Okay.
You want to be able to plant them, and because they do take a little extra care right now. With the heat, they dry out a little faster. Okay.
Now, what about the hours for the summer for Vicky's Country Garden? I'll bet you're getting tired over there.
Well, we get the heat kind of gets us. We've changed our hours a little bit. We're open from 9 to 5:30 now, Monday through Friday. Saturdays, we're here from 9 to 3, and then we are closed on Sundays. Unless somebody needs something and they make an appointment with me, and while I'm in watering, I'd be glad to take care of whatever they need.
This is a wonderful lady, and I'm just I enjoy having her on my program every Monday at 10:30, and I'm talking to the lovely Miss Vicki at Vicky's Country Garden, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. And is there a special number they can call if they want to ask questions?
Yeah, just 208-438 5663, and if you can't get us there, they can call me on my cell at 431-5667.
You have a wonderful day. Stay cool, and we'll talk to you next Monday, Vicki. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Take care. That is a wonderful lady, and I really enjoy having her on the program. Vicky's Country Garden, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. Right now, it's time for... Got to find it in my mess here this morning. The weather forecast, and the weather brought to you this hour by our friends at Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Don Scarrow and the crew. You can go to their website and check out all the delicious meats from scarrowsmeats.com, or give them a call, 324-7657. I mean, all the tri-tips for your family picnic, your business picnic, or the marinated pork ribs, or all the bratwurst. Oh my, all the different kinds of bacon, you name it, it's there at Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather. Once again, right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Summer day here in the valley as we get ready to kick off this work week, and today we are looking at sunny skies, expecting a high of about 90. A little bit on the breezy side, winds out of the west at about 8 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low of 58. Tomorrow, a little bit of cloud cover. Partly sunny is what we're expecting with a high of 84. Overnight low of 55. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, back to sunny skies and upper 80s. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb.
Oh, short and sweet, and it sounds good. Great weather forecast. Thank you, Gina. Brought to you by Don Scarrow and the crew at Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call and get more information, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. You know, folks, a couple of weeks ago, we started advertising for Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living on Alfresco Road, and we had this lovely lady on the program with us, and she absolutely is going to tell you now more about what her and her husband Matt have put together for a real nice senior living with your friends at Greystone Crossing. Hello, Kelly Wiggins. How are you?
I'm doing great, Zeb. How are you this morning?
Well, it's been one of those days. It's a Monday, and if anything is going to go wrong, it's going to happen to me on a Monday. But so far, we're still living through the turmoil, so I hope your part of the segment is really good. Tell us a little bit about all the people that are enjoying the wonderful amenities of Greystone Crossing.
Well, actually, we're just looking forward to the people who will enjoy it as we will open up the first part of August. And we're just gearing up to do that right now. We've got some signed up that'll come in. We've been emptying the rooms from our last venture and getting them set up for the seniors to come and enjoy Greystone Crossing. And Zeb, Greystone Crossing is a 12-bedroom, 14-bathroom home, and we're going to run it like a home. Mm-hmm. We don't work at their residence. They live where we work. This is their home. We anticipate having 12 to 16 seniors. They each have their own spacious bedroom with their own independent bathroom and their own entrance from outside, so their guests can come straight into their room if they would like. But in the common areas, we're going to provide 3 meals a day plus their snacks. We're going to provide their housekeeping for them, and we'll also provide local transportation to their appointments that they need to get to. Mm-hmm. And so we're just looking forward to this being just a big extended family for them so that we can help provide the amenities that are needed to keep them independent of full-time care. Now, down the road after they're with us, if they see that they need more care with individual care, then home health can come right in there. You know, their family, of course, their caregivers can come and work with them in their home at Greystone.
You know, I've been by it. I need to stop in and I need to take a tour, but I urge the seniors to really consider the fact that you provide 3 wonderful, delicious meals a day and snacks and housekeeping and local transportation. I mean, you talk about comfort. You talk about convenience. It's all there provided to them at Greystone Crossing.
You know, the meals are something that I'm really excited about. I say that I get my need to feed from my grandmother, and I like to cook from scratch. Our staff will be cooking from scratch that's there, and we look forward to the participation of the residents, too. You know, if they've got favorite recipes that they just haven't been able to make for a long time, we would like to incorporate those in. You know, cooking for 12 people is just cooking for a large family.
So we've done everything we can to make the facility and the services that we offer not have an institutional feel to them.
You know, one thing I'd like you to expand on is the idea of a home and camaraderie and fellowship and other residents there that they can visit with and lean on and talk to. Kind of give us that feeling a little bit, if you would, please.
Okay. Yeah, we really feel like some of the disadvantages as we grow older is we're isolated. I'll be in my home, but I can't get in and out. My neighbors aren't real close, and my neighbors may not be my age, or they're off, with their busy lives. And here, they all have their own space, their own private space. But we have meals where we're eating together, we're getting to know each other. We have a common area, a private dining room, but a common area where we can enjoy Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune together or the news. And visit a place to maybe put a puzzle together or something like that. And again, shopping together. But we just feel that as we age, we need company and we need community. And we'd like to build that community here.
You know, the fact, Kelly, that you and your husband have put all this together, and I urge people to learn more about it by contacting you. What about calling, making an appointment, and taking a tour of the facilities? What would you tell them?
I would tell them just to give us a call at 208-650-4979. Now, we do tours and meet with people by appointment only because, remember, we're walking into someone's home. So there's really access to the building when they leave there through the residents. And we just feel like that's important, that people just aren't walking in and out, solicitors or whoever, at any time. So we live with just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Greystone Crossing. We will meet you there. We can do evening appointments when it's easier for your family members to assist, or during the day. But we are happy to do tours at any time.
You know, you might pinpoint at this time, Kelly, exactly where Greystone Crossing is. I mean, really nail it down to the gnat's eyebrow. You did really good in the ads that you had put forth. Go ahead and tell us again.
We are 1.1 miles east of Walmart here in Hayburn. So you just take a turn at Walmart there on Alfresco Road, which is also 21st Street. You'll go a mile, you'll hit a four-way stop, you'll go another tenth of a mile, and we're on the right side there, just before you get to the fire station.
Okay. Now, if you were to put the theme of Greystone Crossing into one sentence, what do you want our seniors to know about living at Greystone Crossing?
Well, here at Greystone Crossing, we want to provide the means and the opportunity to extend your ability to live independent of full-time care. So as you live with us, we will work with everybody we can that's involved in your care and yourself to help you stay there and independent of full-time care. And we feel like that part of those means are your meals and your housekeeping. We feel like our homemade meals and having them regular will eat healthier. You know, as we age, it's hard to move that pot from the stove to the sink. Or I don't want to buy a lot of vegetables because they go bad before I can eat them. And so we're excited to provide meals and housekeeping. Again, your transportation is a means to help you stay independent longer.
Absolutely. Kelly Wiggins and her husband Matt have done an outstanding job in putting this all together, and now they just want you, please, to call them and find out more. The number 650-4979. That number again, 650-4979. Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living on Alfresco Road. Thank you, Kelly, for being on the program. God bless and come back soon.
Thanks again, Zeb, and I hope you only have one Monday this week.
I do, too. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, it's been an exciting day and a lovely lady right there, and I appreciate it. Kelly Wiggins and her husband, Matt, with Greystone Crossing, and we very much appreciate the fact that we're helping them kick off, if you would, an excellent business for the seniors. We appreciate that. Right now, it's time to tell you all about our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with absolutely the best in tires, many of which which, by the way, they have where you can get an instant rebate. Check it out on a set of 4 tires, the Backcountry MT or the Backcountry AT or the Road Control tires. Check out the instant rebates on those tires. And they've got all the tires, all the tread designs, all the sizes. They've got everything there for your driving safety, for your car, your pickup, your SUV, horse trailers, boat trailers, whatever. They've got all your tires. That's not brag, that's a fact. And they also offer to you a free pre-trip safety check, meaning they'll check your tires, your air pressure, wheel alignment for tire wear, front end components, shocks and struts, battery, including a load test and brake components. They want you to have a great driving experience going from point A to point B and then back home again. So please stop in and see the best today. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. They're the best. No brag, just fact. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. What's on the menu for tomorrow? It looks like we're going to have, my buddy, Raynard Jackson's going to be on the program tomorrow. Always look forward to having him. Pastor Paul Thompson's going to be on the air, and then at 10:06, don't forget, Dr. History is back with us, and then at 10:30, we're also going to go over the rest of the schedule for the great week of fun, family fun, up at Oakley Pioneer Days. So don't miss the program tomorrow, starting at 8:06. Absolutely, where we say every time we wrap up the show, the way things were, the way things ought to be. And the world needs more cowboys, but above everything else, we tell you, in God we trust. See you tomorrow morning at 8:06, Zeb at the Ranch.